Welcome to another episode of Love Notes.
All nurses to the nurses station.
This is Taquita Love, a nurse and a comedian.
You think you could bring your brother the clear machine home? You know, the reviver.
And I'm talking to my funny friends about medical mishaps.
Clear!
You are listening to Love Notes.
Now we can get
Now
real.
we can get real. I'm
Yeah.
so happy you're here, Finley. Thank you so much for coming.
Have we started already?
Yeah, we already
Oh.
rolling. So I was trying to get loose, because you was telling me I was uptight last time.
Nah, you
And that's
weren't
what happened
uptight,
when you
yeah.
a nurse. Sometimes you be at work and then you supposed to be chilling, but
Yeah.
you don't know how to turn it off because
Yeah.
society been like, you an angry black woman. But I'm
Yeah.
really not.
No, you're not. You're not.
So I got with me comedian, writer,
Actor.
actor. I remember I came to see you in Aladdin.
In Aladdin,
Comedian, writer, actor. What else you doing out here in the streets?
Just all the hyphenates, you know?
I'm just saying, comedian, actor, writer, Finley Polynice.
Woo, 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 woo. I'm
Okay.
just Finley Polynice.
So Finley,
Yeah.
I've been knowing you for years. We started out doing stand up, just in the
Yes.
stand up community.
Yes.
And then I, found out that you were a great writer.
Thank you.
So I want to know your journey into stand up comedy. How did you become a comedian?
Oh, okay. So how did I become a comedian? Am I too loud?
It's
I
me.
feel like I'm
Just
too
talk to me
loud.
like it's me.
Okay,
so
yeah.
we can hear ourselves in the headphones.
Yeah. How did I become a comedian? I became a comedian. I feel like I've always been just trying to make people laugh. Just like I think it started from when I was really young. Just being goofy at the house, making my parents, my cousins, my siblings laugh, my friends at school laugh. That kind of thing. I wasn't like the class clown, like the typical, class
Comedian.
clown. Because I didn't want to get in trouble at home. Because if my parents got a call home that I was acting
whooping?
up, they would have gave it to me good. So but I still try to throw my little jokes in here and there. So I think it started from there. But like when I actually getting on stage and telling jokes, I didn't actually start that until very late, until 2010. I think it was when I started actually like on stage telling jokes to make strangers laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the journey been like? I know. So you worked. You were a
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so how did you go from teacher to comedian?
Well, when I first started, was I even teaching yet? Oh yeah, I was already teaching. Yeah, I was already teaching. I just, I've always enjoyed it. I've always wanted to entertain people. Like teaching was my, I guess, my safe route. I guess
Okay.
it was my safe route. It was like my safety net. But I've always enjoyed entertaining people, whether it was acting, telling jokes, or just being creative in some way. So I've always enjoyed being creative, and I feel like even though I had a day job, even though I still have a day job, that passion, that excitement, that desire for that never went away. So I was like, why do I have to sacrifice one? Why do I have to like leave what I really enjoy doing to for the paycheck? So I've been trying to balance both as long as I can until something happens.
I think that's the boat I'm into. I'm just like, whenever it happens and I can make adjustments to my job.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm just out here hustling.
Yeah. What did you start doing first? Were you a nurse first
I was a
or a
nurse.
stand-up
I
first?
was a nurse, hands down. I didn't know I was funny. I didn't think I was funny. I wasn't like a class clown, nothing
That's
like that. I was a
crazy.
nerd, a straight nerd.
So how did you get into comedy? Who told you were funny, or what made you take such a risk of like trying to make strangers laugh? Because I know that's something that is not easy for most people, especially if it's something that you were always a nerd. You never thought you were funny. What made you do it?
Being a nurse. I feel like as a caregiver, I had to adapt to what patients needed.
Mm-hmm.
So in my job, my background's pediatric oncology. So it's kids with cancer and then stem cell transplants.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, like, I would do stuff to make them feel better that other nurses wouldn't do. Like, I had one teenage boy, he had to get an emergency spinal tap, right?
Oh my God.
So he came in, they was like, oh, we think he has cancer, but we got to do a spinal tap. We got to do all the works. And there was no time for anesthesia or nothing like that. It was, we need to do this now. And I rapped Drake's, is it Best Up Baby? You my everything. You everything on because you hold me down every time I hit it. Now I'm in a pediatric hospital singing this in the room, like the little sterile room, the procedure room with the doctor. And when I stopped singing it, the patient was like, keep going. You know, like, I guess it helped him be calm or go through the procedure. So I think I did things like that my whole career, just like going above and beyond just to help. Like, you need this, or I freestyled with one of my patients in the middle of the night. I had a little flow back in the day, but he wanted to rap.
Okay.
And so, like, I would be like, was it good? Who cares? Like, it made him feel better. So that's how I did it.
But okay, so all your examples so far have been like rap. Why did you decide, hey, you know what?
I should be a rapper.
Maybe I should put out a mixtape.
I don't know.
So
I got an inner rapper inside of me.
And then, so how do you go from making your patients feel comfortable to I'm on stage telling people jokes? How did that happen? I know.
So you interviewing me?
I know.
He just flipped it. Was like, you know what? I'm a professor, and I hold it down.
No, because
people do what I tell them to do.
I'm just saying, I'm just as curious about your journey as you are about mine.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Stand up happened. My best friend at the time was dating a stand up comedian.
Okay.
And she thought I was funny because I would talk to her like the way my mama talked to me, like just very blunt.
Mm-hmm.
I remember she had an issue with a boyfriend cheating or something. And I was like, girl, let's pack all his stuff and let's go drop it off at the girl house. You know, like, it was stuff like that she was like, you so funny, you should be a comedian. And I never thought about it. I was just like, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I had an instance where I had an injury and I was off work for a little bit. And my brother told me about a stand-up comedy class, David Arnold. And he was like, we should do it together. You know, just like sister and brother thing. I went, we both went, audited the class, nothing. A year or two later, I wound up being off of work, I think, for an extended period of time. And I was like, I should try this stand-up thing. So one morning, what happened was, I think I watched a commercial the night before. And it was somebody that was doing an open mic or something. Or it was something on the internet. And I was like, I should just get up and go do it. I have been doing improv. I've been doing improv and sketch writing at Second City, and then I went to UCB. Mm-hmm. And then I think I learned from those experiences that whenever I would do like the improv sets on stage, I learned that like my stories were funny. Everybody was like, oh my God, your story was so funny. When that happened and you told the girl this, oh, I just died. But nobody was talking about my characters or my acting, and they was just like, those stories was funny. So I was like, let me just start, you know, with the storytelling and see where that goes. So, you know, Kanye started with beats first, you know, and so then beats turned into fashion. So it's like, let me figure something that I'm good at and own it. And it was a hobby. It was like, I'm doing this just because, you know, I'm trying to fill a time. Maybe relationships weren't right because LA is hard to sustain one. Mm-hmm. And I did it as a hobby. And then after I did the showcase for David Arnold's class and people laughed, I was feeling myself. I was like, oh, I am funny. But I wasn't really, you know, I was new comedian funny.
Yeah.
And then I taped Laughs on Fox a couple years later. And then that's when I was like, oh, people make money doing this. And I could be on TV and I could maybe not have to be a nurse no more. And I just kept it personal with my stories and like my experiences. And then the response I got was like, you're not like other women because you're not really like talking about like sex and, you know, like you got to pay my rent to sleep with me type things. Mm-hmm. You do have to. But, you know, I feel like the angle of like, there's a girl that's a nurse and she's funny. And she's, you know, and I can write too. Like I've been through a lot in life. So I feel like all of that combined, and I was just like, I might be on to something.
Okay, now I know this is still. I know I'm taking over your.
I know, and I feel
thing.
like
no,
Finley.
but no,
this
but
is now Love Notes hosted by Finley. This is
no,
what-
no. But I'm sure your audience wants to know about you too. Okay, so but I feel like you're skipping stuff because how did you even end up in LA? Because you're not from LA.
Oh, okay.
So did you come here to be a nurse?
Oh yeah, I was oh, look at you trying to you. Okay, I see you.
All
No,
right.
so I am from Chicago. I became a travel nurse about 11 years ago.
Okay.
And then travel nursing is when you move somewhere, you work in that position, like you fill a gap for somebody that's gone. So I traveled for about 5 years and wound up in LA. And when I wound up in LA, I took an improv class at Second City. And that was because I was a nerd still. I was in a new environment. I didn't know nobody. I wasn't social. And I was just like, I need to like learn how to just unwind and loosen up.
Okay, but it wasn't because you had any aspirations to be in show business.
No.
Oh.
But I have roots in show business or in entertainment.
Okay.
The roots are I sang in the choir as a kid. I did gymnastics.
Okay.
I was in fashion and fitness and modeling in high school.
Is that a class? Fashion, fitness, and modeling? Is that a class?
That was like a club. It was like, like we wanna be models.
Fashion, fitness, and modeling.
It was like when you want to, it's like, oh, I want to do this. And
Yeah.
after I tried out for the cheerleading team and didn't make it.
Okay.
So it was one of those things where I've been like touching it, but not all the way in. And then it was just like, I got a degree. I'm making the money I want to make. No kids have arrived at my doorstep. So, so it was like, I took a chance and was like, I'm just going to put more in it and see what more I can get out.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah. So
back to you.
Yes.
Because you're making me vulnerable. No.
All right.
Your journey to being a comedian. Obstacles that you've had being a professional.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. Yeah. Especially because of my profession of being a teacher. So I guess similar to being a nurse, but I feel like there may be a little more, a little added pressure as a teacher. Just because I think teachers are held to this higher standard of like how you behave in your personal life, right? And because I feel like patients aren't really gonna go Google you necessarily,
Oh,
right?
yeah, they will.
They will?
I get friend requests, and because of HIPAA, they say don't accept friend requests from your patients.
Okay.
That's how. Yeah, they.
Yeah. Well, then you definitely, you know what I'm talking about then, because you'll get, I'll get students trying to request me, looking up, Googling me, trying to find out stuff. And like, so anybody who's ever found out anything about what I do outside of work has been because they did their own, they were snooping, trying to figure stuff out. Right. So I think that has been one of my, that has been a major obstacle, is just trying to keep those two lives separate, in some way. I mean, of course, I talk about teaching in my comedy because that's a part of my life, but I try not to do it the other way around. I try not to talk about my show business career when I'm teaching, right? So it's just an obstacle to trying to keep those things separated and trying to keep students from being all in my business, all in my personal business. I know part of it is inevitable, but I'm just trying to keep them separate as long as I can. So and then there are other obstacles with like just like trying to find time to do things, because with my job that you don't, once you clock out, you don't really clock out. You still have stuff to do outside of the classroom, like preparing for the next day or grading or all that kind of stuff. So finding time to follow my passion while still maintaining my responsibilities at work. Yeah.
Well, I know that you did writing at is it CBS Diversity Showcase?
Yes.
I would love to know that experience, because we talked about it when you were about to do it.
Yeah.
And it was like, how do I ease out of like my responsibility and follow the dream? Like, how do I maneuver it?
Yeah. Well, First of all, I need everybody to know that you are the reason that I even knew about that. And if it wasn't for you, and I remember calling you and thanking you, because when I got it, I was like, it's because you're the one who let me know,
No problem.